Shalom, homies and homettes. I am Scott, one of the people for the JCP Randomness Films crew. Yes, it's been a while since I've ever done filming for this YouTube channel, but I have finally decided I will try again and redo what I have messed up in the past. So as you can see, we've already done this battle, me and Elite, the main person for the channel. We did this battle 2 nights ago, and yes, this is a late upload, but when we did it, he did a live recording, and I said I would do this, like aftermath, my opinion. Now, as you can see, you can see my army. You can't fully see his, of course, because I'm looking from my perspective. On my perspective, as you can see, I have at least probably 20 units right here in the smack dab middle, ready to hold off his attack. Now, I'm going to show you the mistakes I made and probably tell you what I probably should have done in order to maybe fight back on what he did. Now, as you can see, I have tons of artillery compared to him. Look, he has 1, and that's about it. That's all I can see, of course. He probably has more somewhere back there. Also, as you can see, I have 4. These are my biggest units out of my whole army. As you saw when I was passing through, they have default units, and in these default units, there's certain sizes. Well, these units are about 50 to 200. This is my biggest unit in the center, second biggest. But the bulk of my army, the strongest point, is over here. So you're going to see later on throughout this video, I'm going to move into these woods right here next to his flank. Also, as the beginning begins, I'm moving up my artillery pieces on these slopes. I'm going to press play now, and I'm going to set them up to begin. As you can see, here we go. I'm going to set them up to begin firing upon his men. Now later on, there's going to be some funny moments with these artillery pieces if you saw the live film. Also, furthermore, as you can see, I'm moving out of Bloody Lane. This is what this road was called, or also Sunken Lane or whatever. And what I'm doing is basically setting up my army so I can have the hill advantage. Probably my best move I did in the entire game. I mean, I had some good moves later on. Now right here I kind of got confused in this area, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to pull back. But then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to fix that because he's going to move and he'll have the hill advantage. And I needed this hill really bad to hold off this side. If I didn't have that hill, he would slaughter me a lot quicker. So that's why it was known as Bloody Lane. So as you can see, I instantly turned them around. I was like, oh, crap. In this part, I kind of forgot about the center and over here. So that's why, as you can see, he was able to get troops in the woods before me because I didn't pay attention to this side until later. I also forgot about this artillery piece, but that's not the point. As you can see, I'm starting to move up around here. Nice, good units of the south. That's, oh, okay then. Well, while that's going on, let's see, what could I'm going to fast forward a little. Okay, let's see if we can, let's see, slow it down. Oh, here we go. And this is where the first action started taking place. I didn't really kill anyone. I killed one guy, and it was like right here. So you can see it's kind of hard to see men. At this point also, I finally unlimber this cannon and move up into these woods. But by now, he already owns the woods, basically. I was unable to make a push earlier, which causes me to be stuck right here in the woods. That can be fixed later on, if I tried. But I didn't. So he was able to bring up a couple more units to back this flank over here, just in case I wanted to try to outflank the ones already in the woods. But for now, here, I'm going to pause it for a second. If I really wanted to defeat him, which I lost if you saw the live one, but I lost with heavy numbers on both sides, causing him to lose a lot, which happened in real life, but right here. What I could have done if I wanted to be smart, which he even said it himself, is if I had tried to push out, take this fence, push him back, cause him to stay right there, push up, take this fence before he does. If I had tried pushing up and taking these fences, it would cause him to have to fight in open fields, and it would get him slaughtered. Now, I didn't do that, which caused me to get slaughtered right here at the beginning when I pushed out. I held for a while, but it caused me to get slaughtered. Now, if I had tried better, I would have probably defeated him. Of course, yes, I would have. But I didn't. That was my failure. But as you can see, all my artillery's firing. I'm bringing up extra units from right here. Bringing up more infantry, which is a little bit more bulk, which will help me later on if I had tried a little harder, but it didn't. So I was able to pull up reserves, hold the ground. He gets a couple charges in later, I'll show you when. But when he does, it's pretty gruesome. As you can see now, we tried combating for the forest. Nothing major. It was more like a little shootout, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not going to fight for the woods. Later on, I pull back to this fence line, and I'm going to just stay here for like the rest of the game until he finally charges them towards the end. So yes, again, just a shootout by my men. His men really don't do anything at the beginning. They're volleys, but they do volleys, but they mostly hit this fence line, as you can see his do. I get an okay amount of kills for shooting a big force. This big unit fired over here. This unit was basically, it was basically destroyed right off the bat, as you can see. I mean, its morale's crap now. As you can see, we're now starting to see more of Elite's reinforcements, which he really, if I really wanted to try something during this whole game, I could have tried his right, my left flanking maneuver and probably would have crushed him, but I didn't, and I didn't notice this until after the game was over. I noticed this later on because look where he sent the majority of his reserves. As we can see so far, these 4 reserves, which are big lines, he pushed to my left. Now on my left, I had okay units. They were decent. Problem was, these 2 were militia. They sucked. This one was a militia. It sucked. They don't have the range these units have right here. See, these units, they have a range that probably reaches to this fence right here. This unit, it could probably reach half of that. So, he was able to kind of also beat my flank because I didn't have the range. Second off, he got several charges on my left flank, causing me to have to fall back to this fence, and later on all the way over here. But let's continue. As you can see, it's just a shootout. As you can see over here, he brings up units that look like he wants to make a move. Really, nothing happens. As I said, it's more of just a little shootout, and then I just like, you know what, screw it, I'm done. That was basically it. I tried making a push. By then, it was too late. He already had more reinforcements coming. He barely shot any of my men. I think he only killed like 5 in the whole assault I made, which wasn't much, of course. Later on, I fail, but it's okay. Let's fast forward a little because it's just a shootout for a bit. Whoever's messaging me, just ignore. See, this one's having to move out. It can't reach from there. Cannons are continuously bombarding. This unit took a heavy beating. It took the toll until they started firing at these. But that was later on. As you can see, more reinforcements are popping up. He's having to literally rush these because his units are on the verge of breaking. Not badly because he has his general. My mistake was I also left my 3 generals back there for the majority of the game. I didn't bring them up until later. Just now you saw his artillery fire. It didn't really do much. My artillery was effective the whole game. It was pretty terrifying. Where did that run? Hold on. As you can see, he kind of starts finally breaking me because he pushes over the fence. But I'm not going to lose this point. I stood my ground. I was like, no, just send in more. And he was able to easily break me, but I did get a lot of kills from hitting him, as you can see. But yeah, I bring in reserves. That's what I continuously did. I left them too far out, so that was kind of my big mistake. I started bringing them up to this fence for reserves since they kind of hill protection. Also, we have my artillery still firing. Later on, you'll see this unit right here. It'll push up to right here, and it will literally have a howitzer shell. No, it's this unit. Yeah, it's this one. It has a howitzer shell. I don't know when. It should be sooner or later. Yeah, also by now, I start making a push. I'm like, you know what? We need to kind of hold them right here. I don't want to let them get... There it is. There we go. So you can see that shot literally broke his morale, and it just cut down so many men. Look at it. Look at the bodies. That's not... my howitzers during the whole game were really accurate. His weren't. His were way back here, you gotta remember. They can't hit as accurately from that distance. Mine, they're right here. They're probably like 30 meters or 45 feet away from the back. No, not 40. 30 meters, I meant, sorry, 30 meters. They're probably about 30 to 40 meters away, which is a good distance if you don't know meters. But yeah, as you can see, he's still breaking this area. He's tearing it up. That unit I literally had just sent in, and it finally had broke again. It broke that one. So it tells you he's kind of slaughtering my weak units. Soon he's going to do a charge right about here, and he's just going to crush it. He's going to push so hard, it's going to cause me to fall back. It's not going to cause me to fall back, but it's going to cause me to have to use these units to supply and hold that front. And he knows that. So as you see, I always tried to send in more reserves. I kind of can't do that. That's the bad part. I don't have the numbers. Over here, I have units. These are also 2 militia. That's why they're not firing, because they don't have the range. So you can see more of his regiments are bringing up. See, he just packs the whole army on this left flank. If I had attacked on my right flank, that's where he packed them up. But if I had attacked on my left, it was open ground. It was open season. I could have broke him, but I didn't. That was my mistake. At this point, he's getting closer and closer to wanting to destroy me. But as you can see, this unit only has 49 men. Units of 75 did that. Did this. They did that. I mean, they just beat them up. They didn't kill them, but they beat them up. Here's where the charge is. I'm going to fast forward. I'm just going to forward. This is where he breaks me at this... No, he just gets closer. Okay, this isn't the point where he breaks me. But he gets so close, he literally breaks me. As you can see, it said a couple of defeats throughout the battle. I'm still right here. By now, I brought up another reserve. Probably actually my biggest unit's right here. And I didn't really do anything with it. Eventually, I pull it all the way. I had to run it from there to hold off over here in my left flank. Because as you can see, my left flank's, it's collapsing. At one point, it's so bad, I didn't lose my howitzers till towards the end of the game. The reason is because even though I've lost, I kept bringing back my cannons. Because I knew one thing. My cannons were doing damage to him. As you saw by the explosion over here. They kept hitting his units so accurately. I was like, no, if I'm going to lose something, it's going to be my infantry. I'm not losing my howitzers and my artillery. My artillery is what did the damage. So I kept pulling them back. I forgot this one too. But I kept pulling them back. But at the same time, I also kept bringing up reserves. As you can see, I brought more replacements. By now, he's so close. Oh, here's one of the charges. He's just beating me down. I'm going to fast forward again. See if we see anything. Here's where he does another charge. He's just breaking me. So I finally is like, you know what? It's time to pull back. And that's what I did. I pulled back. I was like, yeah, this isn't going well. I need to pull back my lines. I need to fight another day. And that's what I did. Sadly, this was probably another mistake. I was in the open. I eventually fixed it. but it was a little after and a little too late. I took a little more damage. Also, I kind of brought my general a little too close. So you can see AP Hill kind of gets killed in the battle. Longstreet dies, and I think Jackson does too, if that's the other general. Let's see who this general. Longstreet, Jackson, and then it's my general that was the Howie guy who handled artillery. I can't find him, but when I do, oh, here he is. Anderson. All three of them die. Anderson dies at the end of the battle. See, right here, I'm like, okay, it's time to pull you back to here in the forest. This one I was going to lose. I mounted it. But I pulled it back to here, so I was going to lose it either way. I lost that cannon later. General dies at one point right over there. My lines are breaking a little faster now, because he now has the fence. That was my problem.
Our men are running, sir.
So I lost probably like a couple units, and I was like, you know what, we're pulling back even more. So I pulled back to this fence line. That was probably my brightest move during the whole match. Why was it there we go. Why was it my brightest? Because I literally, the only way he could defeat me is if he charged, which he does charges, but it's towards after he literally got slaughtered. At this point, this is when his left, my left, his right really start to collapse. As you can see, the only thing I pulled back was really right here. For this, yeah, I pulled it back at this point, but at some point soon. But it stood out there. I had it just causing this to be pinned. More reserves over there. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay, yep, I finally pulled back to this fence. I don't have enough men to supply this line. So, this is at the point when I'm like, you know what? You two, you're not holding this flank because this flank's solid for now. Even though he's bringing up all the reinforcements. See, I just pull everything back. I'm like, screw it.
Our men are running, sir.
These two units get to go all the way over there. See, I still have reserves. My lines are breaking a little quicker. I don't have the manpower to supply this. But I'm holding. That's what I wanted to do. At this point, he's taking heavy losses instead. You can see this unit kind of gets slaughtered in the middle. This is probably the best move I made. Here are the two units moving. They're smaller, I meant. Yeah. See, they had to reinforce this flank. I think by the time they got over there, this part was kind of having to fall back because it was so gruesome. His center's still taking a beating. He keeps pulling up to fight. At this point, I bring my men back. I'm like, yeah, you guys are pulling back. These guys, instead of like putting them here, as you see, I put them on this front fence line. Well, right here. They're just doing. Oh, I bring them right there for now. And this one goes right there. That one goes right there. These cannons, I just continuously bombarded him. He was taking heavy losses from my artillery for a long time. I mean, that's where a good amount of his deaths came from, was my artillery just bombarding him. You can hear him whistling in the air. Woo! That kind of stuff. I mean, it just battered him down. But the reason he held in, good morale, manpower, and that was about it. If he had none of that, I would have defeated that. Well, if he didn't have morale, I would have defeated him. But if he just, see, he does more charges, he just breaks this flank. I had to turn canister on, but they get slaughtered. The only reason he easily broke me was morale-wise, so I just let that flank fall. I was like, yeah, you're just gonna fall. But I had troops coming in. Here are the two. So you can see my biggest units going over there. They hold for a long time on this fence. This is where I want them to hold. This is my biggest point. As you can see, in the original battle, this is where the battle was the whole time. It was never this far back. Why did it get this far back? Because I kept retreating. I was like, I can't win this. This is just impossible. There's too many slopes. The fence coverage is not good, because if I tried covering here, that's why I pulled out. because if I tried covering here, he'd just shoot down from the top of the hill. I'd get slaughtered in the hill, and Bloody Lane as it's known. So there was no fight in Bloody Lane. It can't be called Bloody Lane. Outskirts of Bloody Lane. Okay. But yeah. So I just continuously pulled back. My final position was all the way over here. That tells you how far the battle got. I went from here all the way to here in this area. That tells you something. I was like, I'm not losing this just to fight for that lane. So I was like, I'm going to fight. So I continuously fought on, which is why I probably, if I had not done this, I probably would have broke in the first few minutes, several minutes, but I didn't because I kept pulling back, and I was like, yeah, I'm not breaking. So you can see tons of men routing right here. This is where his lines, you can still see the bulk of his army is right here. Of course, there's another bulk now already on the left flank. He finally got enough reinforcements to hold that. So you can see the center's my center is holding, slaughtering their forces. This unit's taking a heavy toll for just to hold this field. This unit's basically gone. What is it? Let me see. 108th. As you can see, I'm just slaughtering away at them from this fence line. Oh, escape. The Confederate boys held. And that was the job. I had to hold as long as I could. Now, I'm not trying to mock anyone, but me and Ali kind of agreed that this battle was a little better than just the tips and KBs. And the reason is because, as you can see, throughout the whole battle, action, action, action. In their battle, they had moments where they would stop. I'm not insulting Tip. Tip's probably one of the best Total War players I've played against. Of course, there's been better, but he's probably one of the strongest ones I've played against, and toughest. That's why I kind of fear him. Even though he's slow-paced, he gets the job done. But as you can see, me and Elite kind of got the job done beating each other up by push, 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 or fall back, fall back, fall back. Even though I fell back every time, and it showed a sign of weakness that I was going to lose, my fallbacks had caused him to get slaughtered out in the open. It caused him to have the artillery literally beat him down. Also, another point of where my artillery slaughtered him, which is later on, is right here in this road corner. He has like 5 units in this area, and they all just get bombarded, bombarded, bombarded. I mean, it's just a slaughter fest. It's good. It's a good slaughter fest. But it cost him. Same over here. His right attack, while yes, he did amazingly, he later lost because he just, well, he won it because there's this one Irish brigade that somehow held in. I don't know how, but all of his units, they got, here it is. This is the Irish unit. This unit holds in this whole attack on the right. The whole attack. I'm not even lying. But all those other units over here, they get crushed, destroyed, not to be seen again. So you can see my center, this point, this corner, it's very hard and tricky to hold. So I had to place a unit like this. It wasn't that good. It was just iffy. They're shooting over here. I'm not getting very good volleys off, sadly. Bad, bad, bad. But I'm holding. This point, as you can see, he kind of stopped hitting here because he realized, oh, I'm kind of getting slaughtered here. But he charges. See all these charges? He just does that. This unit gets tangled in, I think. This unit doesn't. This is the one that really gave him a beating. I was able to get it out of there. My 340, they actually won this part. They charged and they kicked booty hole. I charged Longstreet in. It bought time, and that's what I wanted. Even though that was probably not the brightest. But I had this general right here, and I needed him. So I got charged in, held them. I was crushing these units right here. Main reason was, well, of course, Confederates are great at charging, as we can see throughout this battle. They're great. But the problem for me was he continuously morale. See, I keep bringing more reinforcements. Kind of weakens this flank. But all these reinforcements, they kind of helped too. This unit finally kind of breaks because this Irish brigade over here. The Irish brigade really beat up that unit, but this unit got away. No, they both got away, but these two units kind of crush me on this flank, so I kind of had to pull back. At one point, I think he charges this general. It causes me to lose the cannons. General dies, but I think no, general gets away, but I lose the cannons, and it kind of causes more death to me. Right here, I'm trying to hold out. So I basically lose this whole flank, which causes me to have to make a full retreat all the way over here. A good retreat, but a costly victory and a costly loss for me and him. So,
Our men are running, sir.
as you can see, there we go. He broke that unit finally, but now they're getting shot up down there. So he kind of gets behind the fence once more, uses the fence to his advantage. He starts doing charges right here in a second, because he knows he can't fight here. Charges. Sadly, reloading in this game takes forever, so by the time he reloads, by the time I reload, oh, he just stands there a minute. But by the time I reload, he could have got more volleys. He gets more volleys off. Because reloading in this game sucks. He's breaking me. Right here, I kind of continue to break. I have to continuously send in a unit right there, because I can't handle that. That's just bad juju for me.
Our men are running.
But every time I started breaking, as you can see later on, I kind of started just pulling back with these. I'm just like, yeah, we're going to hold, so I pulled them back over here. He's still taking a beating. This unit's getting shot up, but it's caught. But I'm shooting at his general. I never kill any of his generals, sadly, but I numb him down. I numbed his army down a lot. Just continuous fight. I'm gonna fast forward this part too.
Our men
I charge
are running,
right there.
sir.
Break. Okay. Yeah, he just charged us finally. Which is when I kind of have to start pulling back a little sooner. So you can see I kind of was like, oh god, just pull everything back. I don't do that yet. Okay. I think I killed this general, do I? No, I caused him to break. See, this is when I kind of lose control of where the cannons are. I literally lost the cannons. I couldn't point out where they were. Because I didn't zoom in. Because I couldn't. I had other stuff to face, as you can see. If he really... Another problem for him was if he wanted to make a push, he could have hit right here. Because I wasn't expecting it. Especially since I wasn't paying attention. I didn't pay attention to this spot at all. I was over here worrying about the giant force taking over my flank. See, I pull back to this fence.
Our men are running, sir.
At this point, I really don't try to hold this fence because it's on a slope. But I try to pull back enough where I can get units back. I can get these cannons out of there and try to pull them back so they can live and fight another day. Of course, that was some problems. I keep pulling back right here. This cannon, I actually left it for a while because he didn't. I thought he was going to make a push, and he was, but I just turned on canister for these two units because they were both facing this one. So I just pulled out canister and I was like, blow them up. If I'm going to defeat them, just blow them up. Which I do minor damage. Nothing successful. They kind of push up. I think he's going to make a push, but he doesn't, sadly. So I was kind of able to continue to sit there. As you can see, my flank over, if we look on this mini-map, flank's kind of collapsing. He's sending in so few units, but they're so big. That's what she said. But they're strong enough and have the manpower to be able to do stuff damage. This unit does a charge. I think he breaks this flank. So as you can see, I keep pulling back. I'm doing no damage really. He just decides to shoot me up. I think these cannons get stuck. Yeah, they get stuck here. Crap. Okay, so it was other cannons too. But I was able to get cannons away. I got these away, got these away. I was able to. But this one lost because it had no horses.
Our men are running, sir.
But as you can see, I kind of did my job on the fencing. As you can see, not heavy losses if we zoom in. Not many bodies. But when you look out in this field, look at all the bodies, Unionite bodies, from where he tried making pushes. Several pushes. See, he tries to volley into my back. It doesn't do much damage. But at this point, as you can see, I'm like, yeah, I have no chance. Pull back. Make a final stand here. This is where the final battle takes place. He defeats me right here. Crushing blow. I'm doomed. But these units had to sit here and fight until I was able to get these cannons out of there. Which now, as you can see, I got them out of there. But it took me so long. It doesn't take long to limber up in this game, which I'm so glad, which is why I recommend this mod. It's a good mod. It doesn't have many units, doesn't crash really, and if it crashes, it's probably a human-made error. Of course, there are AI-made errors that cause the game to crash, which happens to me sometimes. They only happen like twice so far when I was playing this mod, but the rest is all. If I have any other crashes, it'll just be that. But so far, it's good mod. I'd recommend it, of course. All the others on our squadron of players, of YouTubers, recommend it. A couple other people like Apollo, as you can see, recommends it. I mean, he plays it, and we play it too. But it's a really good mod to play, of course. As you can see it, but that's not the point. The point of this is me trying to survive, and by now, when I kind of lost over on the left, I knew that was the end. I knew it was the end for a while, but that was the final blow that took me out. That was like, yeah, this is going to be a defeat. I know it. But I kept holding on, because I'm not going to just give up. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do some final damage before I fight. So this unit kind of has to... I think they're dead. No, they're... Oh my god. Okay. So right here, as you can see, as I said, the bombardment that just happens right here on the... This can be considered Bloody Lane, because it's where he takes... These 4 units take a beating just sitting there and not making any successful pushes. He tries to make pushes. Of course, I kind of take this stone wall, have a shootout. This unit somehow survives still, but mainly because his general was right there. He tries to make some pushes. I have this fence to protect me, as you can see. So I really... It just helps having a fence. This one didn't have a fence, but they were losing heftily due to cannons, artillery, and this. So I didn't really have to worry about that. Another problem was this unit kind of got shot up, started losing the flank. He had more reinforcements, sadly. But look, throughout the whole battle, he literally had 2 cannons to fight me with. Look how many I had. I started with like 6. Let's see, hold on. We have a remainder over here. Yeah, 6. Nope. 7.
Our men are running.
We started with 7. He didn't. That's a lot of artillery. Now, at this point, this is when his artillery finally gets accurate, sadly. Sadly. But it took him a long time. I think I try to pull back some artillery. Oh, I meant 8. I have 8. But at this point, I still think I try to pull back some artillery to continue fighting. I didn't notice him right there, so I think he kind of gets shot up by his own man. But at this point, he knew he could charge, but it'd be hefty too. So, but he just charges. So I turn on canister, I was gonna fight, I'm gonna blow him up.
Our men are running, sir.
Which my men do successfully, blowing up things. He charges here, so you can see reloading takes time. It's not an easy process, but when you get reloaded, you can fire a good volley. That was an okay volley. As you can see, he gets the charge. My flank starts collapsing. Did I try pulling backing artillery? I think I didn't pull back at this point. I think I was like, yeah, I'm just going to fight on.
Our men are running, sir.
But look, I mean, a hefty toll on his part. I mean, he has bodies here, he has bodies there. I mean, he has bodies everywhere, for Pete's sakes. But my artillery held in there the whole game, and that's what I wanted. I won my artillery. So successful hold. I finally just pull back to this wall. At this point, it's an utter defeat. Of course, I have no more morale to hold in. But I make a final stand here. My final stand successful. I numbed him down over here. This Furious unit, it was kind of his like last unit to really be that big. I just shoot him up while he takes out all my artillery pieces, which I was fine with. I mean, just take him out. So I charged him. Started breaking him, kind of, actually. So you can see his morale. But, again, his general. And, yes, I did target him. But it was his last general. And I was like, eh. So, here we go. I kind of was like, yeah, morale. We're going to break him. Guess who's still held in? This Irish. The Irish. I think. No, they break. Yeah, they break. Oh, phew. So I finally defeated him. But by now it's too late. I continued to make my final stand. I don't know why this timer says it's longer. Of course it wasn't. We still, by the time the end of this battle, we literally only use 50 of the minutes that they give you. You start with 90. So 50 out of the 90. I mean, this battle was continuous fighting. It was bloody. If we had stopped and I had probably retreated to make other precautions, I don't know. If come to think of it, what if I tried pushing back here? Could have done it, but I probably still would have lost.
All hope is lost, sir. This battle is almost done.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, we had no hope. He charges me, gets that, which I was fine with. I mean, it's already dead. But I just charged my general in the end. I was like, yeah, if you're going to die, you're going to die victoriously. Got a good charge in.
Running, sir.
Killed a couple men in that process. He just charges me in the end. This unit's making the last final stand, actually. So they just keep firing and firing until they finally are like, yeah, we have no hope. So, look, even their morale is still good at that point. Now it's not.
Are running, sir.
See, that's the end of the battle. It was a good fight. As you can see, even though I took 3,600 losses, look how many he took for a winning army. So, in my opinion, I would have to consider this a pyrrhic victory. Not a costly victory, a pyrrhic, because if it was costly, it'd be a little higher. But it was pretty hefty on him. I still killed a lot, and so did he. Of course, he killed a lot. He killed basically my entire army. Of course, like 100 kills of those were team kills, but for an army that was literally 2,000 men short of his, we did the job. And in real life, the Confederacy also lost this battle. But in real life, the Union didn't exploit this victory, and that's why it was an inconclusive battle. Now, let's see our highest kill unit. It was this Manning unit that I sent all the way over there that had 340 men. So you can see next was my artillery, bunch of Longstreet corps. My artillery's up there a lot. I mean, it was hefty on him. But it was a good defeat. So I would have to say, of course, a major defeat, but a pyrrhic victory for him. So, yeah, I'd like to thank you for watching. And hope you enjoy when I start up a series on Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, and I hope you join me then. Thank you, and good day.